Falmouth's cooking is made possible in part by the following. Appliances donated by Crane Appliance. Kitchen installation donated by M. Duffany Builders. Specialty studio electric and gallery installation donated by David Rogers Electric. Kitchenware donated by Eastman's Hardware.
Hello, welcome to Falmouth is Cooking. We are a monthly television show right here at Falmouth Community Television in their lovely kitchen. And I'm Gail Blakely, your host for this show, which pretty much discusses all things food, sourcing products, cookbooks, techniques, hacks from the internet, that kind of stuff. And best of all, I get to talk with people about cookbooks. And we have a brand new, hot off the press, barely almost, cookbook from Shea Rawn, who, if you have watched this program before, you know that she was here in the kitchen, showed me how to make the best roasted cabbage that has now become a standard in my house. And you are a dietitian, an author, unbelievable photographer, and a very nice person and a lovely friend. And I'm so glad to have met Jenny, who lives in East Falmouth on Davisville. And we are going to be talking today about Coastal Kitchen, which I bet you can tell from that. We also did not plan to both wear blue, but we are calling ourselves the Blue Sisters. Yes. I said mother and daughter. She said no, older sisters. Yeah. And we're going to cook something from this book in a little bit. So we're starting this show a little differently, and let's just go right to it. Jenny, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm just very excited about this book. I think that it's terrific. I happen to see in the back, why did you, a quote from you, why did you choose seafood to write your first cookbook? What was the reason for that?
I've been drawn to seafood really, I think, since I was a child. Actually, let me show one picture in here.
Sure.
So when I was younger, I would always beg my parents. I would want lobster for my birthday dinner. And when I was born in Connecticut, and we lived on the coast. And I just, loved the fresh seafood that we had there. In Norwalk, Norwalk, Connecticut. Yep. And then we moved out to the Midwest for many, many years. But we always would go and vacation actually on the Cape. And so the coast has always been a big part of my life, starting from being a child. And then of course we've been on Cape Cod for about almost 10 years now. And then before that I was in Boston for about 14 years. So. New England and coastal living and seafood is just really close to my heart.
In your blood, almost.
Yeah, right. And it's my favorite, my favorite type of food. I love fish, love shellfish. There's something cool about being able to live in town and actually catch some, go clamming or going oystering or picking up, the best local fish from fishermen. And of course, we have amazing fish markets here in town. Right. So, and I'll show a picture here of, this is
cool.
This is me when I was like 4 or 5. It's with a box of
I had
lobsters.
that same haircut.
Oh, you I think my mom gave me that haircut.
Probably the bowl cut.
Yeah, right.
And a box of live lobsters.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
cool.
And I think I don't know if I wanted to eat them at that point or have them as pets. My kids now want them as pets. Whenever we bring live lobsters home and they don't want to cook them. They just want to keep them as pets because we don't have a dog or a cat. But so fish and shellfish have always been a big part of our lives, and my kids, especially my little Lexi, my 5-year-old, loves seafood. So I knew that, and I've had a blog for many, many years, and I always have focused on healthy eating and lots of vegetables, lots of plant-based cooking, but incorporating seafood. Yeah. And so to me, it was just kind of a duh, I'm going to write a book about seafood. Yeah, it just seemed like the perfect fit. Cool. And I've been creating, almost exclusively seafood recipes for the past maybe 4 years or something. So it was just kind of a natural progression to put it together into a book.
At your home, you have a house, a beautiful house, and swimming pool, which I covet. And Jenny has a barn out in back, right, which your husband has worked on for you. Yes. And in the barn is where you do most of your photography. And I have to say, the recipes in this book are just wonderful. But I think the photographs are just, they leave me speechless sometimes. They are just so wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we eat with our eyes first, right? So the pictures.
And let me just give you a little taste here, if I can, of today. This is what we're going to be showing you how to make. I thought that this was a good for a hot July summer day. We're going to be doing shrimp summer rolls, and we're going to talk about the ingredients and where to get them and that kind of stuff when we stand up and get into the kitchen. The other thing that I wanted to show people from the book, of course, the book is worth getting just for the photography and the ideas, but this is a form of a charcuterie board, right? Which when you came to Highfield a while back and cooked with me there, we talked about making a board. We did make a charcuterie board, and this is one, a lobster BLT board, which is
fabulous, and it's a good way to kind of stretch a little bit of lobster a long way, and everybody loves BLTs, but add some lobster on it, and it's amazing. Yeah, this is a fun thing to serve for anytime this summer, but especially like for brunch.
And then, of course, as we get to the holidays, we have wreaths and Christmas trees. And
the Christmas tree room is really fun. The kids went crazy over that one.
I bet they did. That's really cool. Okay, so we have ideas for the holidays, we have ideas for boards and charcuterie boards and charcuterie boards, and of course the best idea for the holiday is to purchase a book. And by the way, Jenny will be signing books at Highfield Hall on August 1st. August 1st.
I believe it's from 4 to 6 or 4:30 to 6:30, something like that.
Yep.
It's in the afternoon.
And we'll be up there.
Right.
But what I wanted to show you in addition to the wreaths was this. I'm going to call this magic salmon bites. That's what I'm going to call them, because I do have people who don't like to eat salmon, and friends and lots of close people, and this was a way that I have been able to get them to eat it. And it's a simple marinade, Jenny, right? And,
really simple.
I think what also does it is the charring is really wonderful. It gives a nice oomphy flavor, and then the look of the black sesame seeds is just terrific. And I put it over zoodles, shared the recipe with Jenny a while back, and it is on the Highfield Hall and Gardens website for recipe of the month for July.
Great. One thing, let me just mention one thing about the salmon bites. These are great if you have a party, because you have typically you serve salmon, in fillets, and sometimes people don't want to eat a whole fillet. Sometimes people aren't huge salmon eaters. So this is nice because guests can take one bite, or they could take 4 or 5. You can kind of choose, and you're absolutely right about the smokiness and the charring, because you're cutting them into cubes. You're getting you're getting more marinade first of all, but you're also grilling on more sides. So it's less for those that don't like a strong fishy flavor. You're not getting a lot, because you're getting more of the taste of the marinade and the grill, the smokiness from the grill. So
here's my question: do you have the skin removed when you do it?
Usually I keep it on.
You keep it on because it holds it together.
So yes, it holds it together, and also once they're cooked, the skin can be pulled off really easily, versus trying to skin the fillet can sometimes be dangerous if you're not used to doing that.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try this with bluefish too.
Oh,
you know, a lot of
yeah,
people,
yeah.
again, don't like, more people probably like salmon than bluefish.
Yep.
But I think that this would be a nice marinade on bluefish
Yes.
because it's got the soy sauce, the rice vinegar, and the brown sugar, which really is what gives you that nice char.
Yes. Yeah, it would be
sesame
great
oil.
with bluefish. And I feel like bluefish has gotten kind of a bad reputation. A lot of
know.
people, you know, and it's a great local fish, but people think of it as, oh, it's so fishy, and you know, but it's not. There's actually a really simple bluefish recipe in here, and it just uses dill and I think some lemon.
Okay.
But the key is you have to get the
saw it,
freshest. You know, you get fresh bluefish, and yes, it's a stronger flavored fish, but it doesn't have to be, you know, a really fishy fish.
Yep, yep. The other one that my favorite recipe is this, the cover is what I said we were going to do. The swordfish piccata, which you could certainly do with salmon.
Yep.
You could do it with bluefish. I don't know how it would be, but it might be
really good with
interesting.
bluefish.
And you know,
My neighbor just made these last night too.
Really?
They loved them.
I
The
mean, just
tuna nachos.
wonderful. Yeah, just gorgeous. And it's like you said, you eat first with your eyes, and you almost want to just pick this right up off the page.
Yes.
And tuna melts. We talked before about whitefish and how to make that a little bit more palatable for some people who say, I'm afraid of whitefish. I'm afraid of bones.
Yep.
And I think this panko baked cod is
really good.
really
And super,
wonderful.
really, really simple.
So these are all dishes that you've been making over the last couple of years and decided to sit down and put it together.
Yes, you
we're
got
going to
it.
see a second cookbook at some point, do you think?
You know, everybody asks me that, and I think probably. I don't want to say, you know, not anytime soon,
Yeah.
because, you know, it's.
Oh my goodness, it's
yes.
not even out
Right,
officially
right,
out
right,
till
right.
next week. Yes.
Yeah, but I definitely am not putting it out of the question. I would like to. And I can see another seafood cookbook, whether, you know, it may be just oysters or just, you know, I don't know. But definitely, you know, New England seafood.
Okay. And a lot of these recipes have been in progress on your blog, right? Which is JennySheaRawn.com. And before the book came out and when you and I had first talked, I wanted to be able to make the salmon bites, so I was able to go online and get it there. I also appreciate the fact that there's non-seafood appetizers, side dishes, and salads. A lovely summer dish with the burrata and black lentils. Let's see, some of your mom's potato salad.
Yes, which is fabulous. Actually, a colleague of Adrian's just made that for a party. And
Adrian's your husband.
Yes, Adrian's my husband. Yeah, and they loved it. So and my mom has been making that potato salad for forever. And we made those smashed
here's
potatoes.
the two dishes that we made.
Both of them.
Yeah, they were cool.
Last
This
time
is
we were on Falmouth
what I
TV.
referenced before, the easy roasted cabbage, which is unbelievable because whoever thinks, I never thought of roasting cabbage. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of people do.
And this is my sister, Auntie Lauren, who makes a fabulous kale salad.
Okay.
So.
And there they are before kale salad.
Yes, way before. Yeah, this was on the Cape. I think that was in Chatham when we were, you know.
Okay. And I think that's just. Did you take this from? Did you channel Martha Stewart for this?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah. You know, she has the picture in the white overalls.
Yes.
That many years ago with Ocean Spray. Yeah. And people were all saying only Martha Stewart would wear white overalls. Well, Jenny, you know, did the darker overalls, which is much better. Yeah. Do you call them overalls? What do you call them?
Waiters.
Waiters.
Yes, waiters. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Waterproof overalls is fine
lots
too.
Lots of capey stuff, pumpkin butter, cranberry upside down cake, just all sorts of really, really good things. Sliders. I think that for people who are learning to cook and want some basics, I think this is a book that is right on for that. And I also think that that this is the kind of book that people will get new ideas from. Certainly, I'm a seasoned cook. Been writing a food column for 40 years, and actually cooking for almost 50 years now. And I would say that this is has given me lots of ideas. And I do think the magic salmon bites are absolutely worth the price of the book. And, not the whole thing there. So, okay, so anything else that you would like to tell us about the book and the process before you and I get up and sample some good stuff here?
Yeah, well, just a couple things about the others. So the recipes are great, but also There's a lot of information about the, you know, how to choose fish at the fish market or at the supermarket, how to choose it, you know, what to look for, how to cook it, what temperature do you cook seafood to. There's also seafood frequently asked questions, like how to choose sustainable seafood, how to get my kids to eat more seafood, seafood food safety, all of those little, there's actually a whole section in the back with additional information on seafood. So I think it's a great resource too for those who want to eat more seafood, because we know that the omega-3s found in a lot of seafood, especially salmon and other fatty fish, really are so critical for brain health and heart health. So one of my goals is to help people to eat more seafood, and I think this is a really good tool to help people do that.
Yes. And I noticed you had a couple of, what do you call the little things on the back of the book that, what do we call those?
Oh yeah,
I can't think
something
of
quote, yeah, some type of quotes, but yeah, from some really nice
book quotes. No, not book quotes, back quotes or something. I don't know.
forget what
we'll
they,
come up with it when we're not on camera. So
right.
That'll do it.
Right.
But the seafood farms and the Fishermen's Alliance have given you promos.
Yes,
that's what
exactly.
The word I
and
guess
Anna
I'm trying
Rossi,
to
who's
say.
an amazing chef, she's a chef on the Chef's Pantry.
Where does she live?
I know they have a place in Osterville, but I think she lives, I want to say North Shore, but she's fabulous, and she's a big seafood lover as well, and she has been a big supporter of what I'm doing and a big supporter of the book too, which is so sweet.
Yes, yes. All right, I think that we are ready to go make a creation.
Okay.
And it's not going to be the salmon bites, but nor is it going to be cook the cover, but I think you're going to like it. So we will take a break for a second and then come back in the kitchen.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. Okay, so with the magic of television, we're back in the kitchen, the actual kitchen, cooking, or assembling, I think we'll say we're doing today.
Yep.
Jenny Shea Rawn, author of Coastal Kitchen. Again, pleasure to have you. And we are going to assemble some summer rolls, which I think are really beautiful. I think people are often afraid of making Asian food, Chinese food, Korean, all sorts of different foods, because they don't want to invest in the ingredients. So we're going to talk about some of the ingredients that we're using here. So here we have just some regular peanuts, roasted, dry roasted, lightly salted. And Jenny was hammering away at them.
So we're going to put these in the summer rolls. But you just want to kind of crunch them up using usually I use a wooden spoon, but you can use whatever you have that makes noise. Okay.
And then we have a sauce that I put together with peanut butter, and yes, it's right here, and it's really very good. It took me about 30 seconds to just microwave it. 10 seconds and then give it a stir, and it didn't look like it was going to come together, and I said uh-oh, and then it came together just beautifully.
Now just keep stirring, right?
This could be used, we will use it on these for dipping, but also you could even spread this on the spring roll, the summer roll if you wanted, and then roll it up. This would also be lovely with a little bit of pasta water. And cooked pasta, and just adding this to, you make peanut noodles, sesame noodles.
With some shrimp or something. That would be fabulous.
If there's one ingredient that I think always jumps out at me, well, certainly soy sauce is important for this. But I think that the sesame oil, that's what I wanted to say. I buy it by the large bottle because I think that I use it a lot, and I think I prefer this brand. And I think that if you're going to be getting into cooking at home with this kind of stuff, this is a good, you can buy a much smaller bottle and fiddle around with it.
And it's toasted too, which is a little bit of a nuttier flavor, which is nice.
And then we have the sriracha, which is pretty much available all places.
Spicy, a little bit of a kick.
Our local honey,
nice.
Which you can see mine is crystallized, but I just throw it in the microwave, and again it melts, becomes liquid. Rice vinegar, I think your recipe called for seasoned, but I tend to keep unseasoned at home, so I can do that.
Right. Yes? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And this, we have honey in the peanut sauce, so we don't necessarily need seasoned. So I usually have both of them. I have seasoned and unseasoned in the fridge at all times because we use so much of it. But yeah, you could use unseasoned, you could use seasoned, whatever you have.
And then fish sauce. Red boat, I guess, is one chef has said to me that this is the premium of the fish sauces, and this is anchovies and all sorts of stuff all smushed in.
And it's stinky. You know, when you smell it, it's so stinky, but it really adds a great dimension to any Asian-inspired
umami flavor that you want. And if you don't have this and you don't want to invest in it, you can use Worcestershire sauce, which has very similar, and most people do have some Worcestershire sauce at home in their pantries.
And a little bit goes a long, you just need a tiny bit of that fish sauce.
And then soy sauce. This is a brand that I buy, but you know, people have all sorts, tamari, soy. Kikkoman, I think, is probably one of the brands that is very available.
Yep, and La Choy, and
And you know what I forgot? I just realized I forgot this. Does this recipe call for ginger?
For ginger, it does. But you know, if you don't have it, you can skip it, or you could use a little bit. Usually, if I have fresh ginger, I'll use that.
Okay.
You can use a little bit of dried, but you can also use, you know, the little tubes that you can get in the refrigerated section
I think it's
of
called
the supermarket.
Nature's something.
I can't remember.
But
they're
in
fresh tube. It's like fresh ginger with, I think it has a little bit of citric acid or something.
Yes,
and then
and
ginger.
you can get that in the markets. Most supermarkets have it, and they also have lemongrass, which is a good, nice thing. And they also have garlic that way, so that you could, without having ginger in your kitchen, fresh ginger, you could. Those probably last for a couple of weeks, a couple of months probably.
Yes, and big time savers too.
Big time savers because you don't have to mince it, you don't have to grate the garlic, and then of course peanut butter. I can't think of a house in America other than people who are allergic to peanuts that doesn't have peanut butter.
Right.
And then our lovely sauce, which is right here, and we've already talked about that.
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of ingredients, but most people probably have a lot of these in their kitchen.
Yep.
And if you don't, then we recommend, you know, investing in all of these because they really are staples and really are great for a lot of Asian dishes.
Okay. So let's talk about our summer rolls, our wrappers.
So these,
I have not seen these. I was looking for them, and I thought they were going to be in with the wonton wrappers in the
refrigerated section.
In the refrigerated section.
Okay. Yeah. No, these are. It's usually the international aisle or the Asian section. They're spring roll wrappers or rice paper wrappers, and you can find them at any grocery store, whether it's small or a larger grocery store. But you can also get them online too. Okay. So, and they come. How many are in here? I think there were like 14 to 16 sheets.
Okay.
And
they're gluten-free?
They are gluten-free. Yes. So great. My mother-in-law has celiac disease. So great. Yep. Great for those with gluten sensitivities or those with celiac. And they look like this.
Cool.
And then to soften them, because they're pretty stiff, to soften them, you just get a bowl of pretty warm or hot water, and then you dip them in, and then it softens a little bit, and then you're going to add your filling to the wrapper. Okay,
and we're going to work right on this? Is that what we're going to do? Yep,
that's what we're going to do. Okay, so it's a little bit more pliable here, and then we'll place it down. I'll move this out of the way.
Okay, let's move this over to here.
Okay, so we have shrimp today, but you could do lobster, like chop up lobster meat. You could also do canned salmon, like a canned smoked salmon would be really good. My kids love these with tofu. Of course, that's not seafood, but they love, you know, tofu. You could bake up some tofu or saute it up. Really good in these rolls. So, but these are shrimp, and what I've done is just I've sliced them in half, kind of long ways there. So because it's easier to eat when the shrimp are in thinner pieces.
How did you cook these?
I grilled these. Okay. But you could cook them any way you want. You could also purchase the frozen shrimp that's already cooked, but that is not as good.
Yes.
So you could cook them yourself, doing grilling. You could saute them. You could even bake them. You could steam them.
And in terms of shrimp, in the book, Jenny does go into sustainable seafood and what to look for when you're purchasing seafood nowadays, especially shrimp. But nowadays, I think people are very concerned about supporting the farmed stuff that's out there, and the fact that a lot of people say that, and it is true, that some of the fish farms are not the best work environments or
Right.
healthy environments for the seafood that we eat. So
Yeah.
you can learn about that by virtue of going to online
Yep.
or going to the back of Jenny's book where she talks about that. So these
Yes.
are wild-caught shrimp, I assume.
These are wild-caught
Okay.
shrimp. You can also, so you could buy U.S. wild-caught shrimp, or you could look for, there's a couple of different labels.
Yes.
Like there's an ASC label, which
Yes.
is the Aquaculture Stewardship Council.
Yes.
And then there's also and that label's green. And then there's a blue label, and this would be on the packaging. That's best aquaculture practices. And so if you see either of those labels, they are a more sustainable. They've been third-party certified
Yes.
as a more responsible producer of the product. So you can certainly look for those. And also you can ask your seafood counter, say I'm looking for sustainably caught shrimp.
Okay.
So I
we've
put
got
down
our shrimp,
two slices of shrimp there, and then you could add some rice. So the recipe in the book calls for brown rice, but we had white rice, so we're using that. A white sushi rice would be really nice. And
Beautiful
so but we're
colors
using
here.
what we have,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then, a little bit of red cabbage. Now this recipe, really you can tailor to your likes and your, what you have on hand. So we have shredded red cabbage, we have some shredded carrots, we have some cucumber, and then what else? Some scallions, which
You're just
aren't
going
in
to
this-
throw these in like this?
yeah, these are some nice fresh mint leaves. And then Thai basil, if you have Thai basil, which is really difficult to find, obviously, in any month other than the summer.
Right.
But we're growing Thai basil in the garden right now, and it's so fragrant. It's so nice. So if you can find Thai basil, it goes really,
And
really nicely.
you can
in
tell
here.
it's Thai basil because it has the darker stem,
yes,
as opposed to
yes.
the Genovese, the usual Italian one.
Right.
So, yeah.
And the leaves are kind of pointy.
Yep.
And,
Yep. Am I doing this
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Is
that's
this correct?
perfect. Yeah, there's no wrong way. You just don't want to completely overfill it because then
All right.
you'll have a hard time rolling it and it'll
And one of these
burst.
stickies?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
one or two of
Do
the
your kids like
cucumbers.
assembling these themselves?
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, because otherwise, usually I whatever I'm making for dinner, I put it on their plate and I give it to them. But here they can just, kind of make their own. Everybody gets to make, put in the roll what they want, and they can leave out the stuff that they don't like, right?
Okay.
Oh, and peanuts. So, okay,
yeah,
so we
our
just took
smashed peanuts,
the
right?
lightly salted peanuts and smashed them up a little bit. You could You could also sprinkle these on after you roll it. Sprinkle them on top, but I also like to put them inside.
Put them inside.
Yeah, and to your point earlier, you mentioned, if you don't want to serve the sauce on the side, you could spread, some of the sauce on here. That would be nice. Okay.
So you're going to show us how to roll that up, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to put the dipping sauce right here. Is that
Okay.
Is
Yep.
that okay?
Yep, that's great.
way to do it?
So look how pretty that looks. It looks gorgeous,
gorgeous.
there. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind
Oh,
of
look how
fold
pliable
it.
that is.
Yes.
That's lovely.
And sometimes if you put it in for too long or not long enough, it'll either break or it won't be pliable enough, but this actually looks pretty good. And if it breaks, it's not a big deal. It still
breaks.
tastes great.
Right.
So, yeah, see this one's a little bit stuffed, but that's okay.
Okay.
We're stuffed to the brim. And so you could serve these for dinner, and have everybody make their own, kind of serve them family style. Or you could pre-make them and then, they're already made. Everybody, you don't have to work while at the table. And, they're ready to go for dinner. They're also great as an appetizer, too, to have them pre-made and then,
Cut into
kind of
smaller
slice them.
pieces.
Yes, exactly.
Let's get a knife there, and
Okay.
we can sample this.
So they are sticky little things.
They are.
But it's, so the reason I put the shrimp on the bottom there is because you have a nice,
That's beautiful.
you can see the shrimp there.
Let's
Okay.
just cut it.
Yep,
That work?
yep. It's a good way to get your veggies in too, like
Sure
all the
is.
colors.
And I'm just going to do this like this.
Yep,
Will that work?
that works. And I'm going to cut the other end. So
Okay.
once you cut it, it's going to start falling apart a little bit. So you
Yeah.
can serve them,
Okay.
however you like.
Okay, the messiness of eating on television.
Yep.
Peanuts, all this good stuff, but
I know.
it looks just wonderful.
Yes.
It really does.
Oh, you could also use, if you didn't want to use rice, you could use the rice noodles, like the rice vermicelli noodles, and boil those up and then use them in here too.
And some peanut sauce. Oh, is that good? It's so cool.
So good for the hot, humid Cape Cod days.
Have I got peanut sauce all over me?
No, you're good.
Good. Okay. This is terrific.
The herbs are really,
Really make
make it. I feel like you have to use the mint. Oh, we forgot the lime.
Oh,
Here, I'll give you a little squeeze. Also, whoops. Also, the peanut sauce is really important because it just adds such great flavor. It also makes them a little bit more filling too. And if you have any leftover peanut sauce, you can just pop it in the fridge in a sealed container and it'll last for a couple days easily.
wow. Ooh, the lime really adds to it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right, how to stay cool. So all this was made in advance. You made the shrimp last night, the rice last night, and pounded the peanuts here today. If you need this.
And then
just
the carrots, you can put them in however you like. Sometimes we shave them, and other times, you cut them to matchsticks. But for a shortcut, we use the pre-sliced bag of carrots there. And this red cabbage I sliced myself, but you could also use the pre-shredded cabbage as well.
okay. All right, I think that is a good recipe for the summer. I think it's probably lovely for entertaining as well. And I thank you again. Coastal Kitchen is available online and at Jenny's website, JennySheaRawn.com, and at our local bookstores.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a wonderful bestseller. I sure hope so.
Well,
and
thank you, Gail.
I really appreciate your time and your coming to Falmouth is Cooking.
Well, thank
Keep
you.
on
It's
cooking,
always a
Ms.
pleasure.
Jenny. Okay, take care. All right, that's it for today. Join us again. Thank you.
Falmouth is Cooking is made possible in part by the following. Appliances donated by Crane Appliance. Kitchen installation donated by M. Duffany Builders. Specialty studio electric and gallery installation donated by David Rogers Electric. Kitchenware donated by Eastman's Hardware.